Okay, so let's just dive right into it. There's this one particular year that keeps popping up everywhere, right? 2026. It's all over our feeds, our conversations, and it comes with this real sense of urgency. So in this explainer, we're going to unpack exactly why that is.
So, what's the deal with 2026? Well, it kind of feels like we're being told two completely different stories. On one side, you've got all the doom and gloom, collapse, war, AI running wild. But then you hear this other story, one about a great awakening, a massive reset, a total rebirth for all of us.
Now look, we're not here to play fortune teller and tell you which one's going to happen. Instead, we're going to zero in on the one question that sits at the very heart of all these predictions. Is all this stuff we're facing something that's happening to us, or is the real shakeup, the real reckoning, actually happening inside of us?
All right, let's start with that big, scary word, collapse. It sounds pretty final, doesn't it? But the perspectives we're digging into suggest that maybe we need to look at it differently. Is the world actually falling apart, or is it just shedding an old skin?
Okay, now this idea, this reframes everything. It's suggesting that the change itself is totally neutral. The collapse isn't the event. The collapse is just what it feels like when we resist that change. The pain isn't from the change itself, it's from us trying to hold on to things that need to fall away.
And this shows the two paths perfectly. It's like you're in a river. You can fight the current, and you'll feel like you're drowning. That's collapse. Or you can align with the current and see where it takes you. That's rebirth. It's the exact same event, but two completely different experiences, two different realities.
So who's in the driver's seat here? Who decides which reality we get? Well, according to these sources, we do. Your internal state, your mindset, your vibration, your frequency, it's like a voting ballot. And you're not just casting it once, you're casting it continuously, with every single thought and feeling.
And that leads to a huge question, doesn't it? If our perception creates our reality, then maybe the big bad wolf isn't some external event. Maybe the real danger is fear itself. Is fear the very thing that takes a perfectly neutral evolutionary change and turns it into a monster?
Let's take that idea of fear and follow it, because it leads us to our next big topic, this idea of a modern conflict. A war that doesn't look like any war we've ever seen before. So much so that we might not even realize we're in the middle of it.
Yeah, forget tanks and soldiers. The new battlefield is your mind. It's a war for your consciousness, and it's being fought with information, with algorithms, with narratives that are all designed to keep us confused, exhausted, and divided.
The weapons in this invisible war aren't bombs, they're emotional triggers. You've got fear, which keeps us stuck in survival mode. You've got outrage, which makes us feel righteous while we're being manipulated. You've got endless distraction. And then there's maybe the sneakiest one of them all. Certainty.
Wow, let that one sink in for a second. It's not fear, it's certainty. The moment you think you have it all figured out, the moment you lose your curiosity and stop asking questions, that's when you're truly trapped. You become predictable, easy to control. You've locked yourself in a box.
So how do you even begin to defend yourself in a war like this? Do you just find better information or get more outraged? Nope. The sources we're looking at say the antidote is much simpler and way more powerful. It's presence. It's the act of just being here, now, fully grounded, where you can observe what's happening without getting swept away by it. All right, now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the great accelerator for all these trends, artificial intelligence. Is it the tool that's going to free us? Or is it something else? Well, these perspectives frame it not as some external force, but as a giant mirror.
The core idea here is that AI isn't good or evil. It's just an amplifier. Think of it like a massive magnifying glass. It takes whatever we put under it, our intentions, our biases, our fears, our level of awareness, and just blows it up on a massive scale, at a speed we've never seen before.
And this just flips the whole script on the typical AI debate, doesn't it? We spend all this time and energy worrying about AI waking up. But what if the real, genuine risk is that we, as humans, become less conscious? What if the danger is us sleepwalking through life, letting algorithms make all our choices?
This really gets to the heart of it. The primary danger of AI isn't its intelligence. It's our willingness to delegate our humanity to it. It's the risk of us just handing over our critical thinking, our creativity, our decision-making, all for the sake of convenience.
So ultimately, AI isn't going to replace human consciousness, but what it will do is act like a global stress test. It's going to hold up that mirror and expose just how much or how little of our own consciousness, our own awareness we're actually using day to day. It's a massive wake-up call.
Okay, so we've touched on collapse, this invisible war for our attention, and AI is this great big mirror. So what now? Let's pull all these threads together and focus on the most empowering part of this whole conversation, how we can consciously choose our experience of what's coming.
You know all that apocalyptic, end-of-the-world anxiety that's just everywhere right now? What if it's not actually a prophecy about something that's going to happen out there? What if it's really a projection of a massive inner crisis, a huge internal transformation that's already happening to all of us? This quote just hits the nail on the head. The time for waiting around for someone else to come and save us, whether it's a politician or some guru, that time is over. That's not how real growth works. For you, for me, for all of us, growth doesn't come from being rescued. It comes from accountability. So what do we need to cultivate to navigate all this? The sources boil it down to 4 incredibly powerful mindsets. First, discernment, seeing things clearly instead of just believing what you're told. Second, courage, the willingness to face change head-on. Third, responsibility, owning your consciousness. And fourth, curiosity, staying open instead of shutting down in fear or certainty.
And honestly, this is the ultimate takeaway. In a world that is obsessed with stories of catastrophe, maybe the most radical, most revolutionary idea isn't about what might happen to us. It's the deep understanding that the future is something we are actively co-creating in every single moment.
And that leaves us with one final thought to sit with. This isn't a challenge about what you should believe is going to happen. It's a question about who you are going to choose to be. Because if 2026 really is a kind of rebirth, well, you don't get to just watch a rebirth from the sidelines. It demands participation. So the real question is, what kind of presence will you bring?